Hello, good morning. It's 11:11 today, and I just have a short message because the energy is definitely changing. I think people who are sensitive can feel that. It's a different energy. You might have some natural breakage points or stopping points or initiations, some natural transitions that you didn't intend to wrap up or initiate at this time, but the timing is just aligning so that you are in the midst of conclusions or new beginnings in a natural timeline. But the reason why I'm recording a video about it is because I'm ready to begin a few things that I've been wanting to do for a while, and these are things that I see a future version of myself doing. So I like these ideas and these projects because they're effectively bridging the version of myself that I am now with the future version of myself, because I'm like, what would I be doing? How would I be conducting myself? Where would my energy be going if I was more fully on this future higher timeline that I've been attempting to anchor in as I let go of things that have been filling my time and energy that aren't actually very aligned for me at the core level of like who I am and what I want to do. So I'm doing these things, and I'm noticing that like the past 3 days I'm not feeling the way that I thought I would feel. I'm feeling a lot more like emotionally drained, physically and emotionally drained, and there doesn't really even seem to be a reason for it. So when that's the situation and there's nothing that's actually happened to make me feel that way, I go to the energy of the transformation and look at that to say, what is happening outside of my awareness that might be influencing this situation? And what I got from my intuition and from guidance on this is that there is sort of like this, and I actually touched on this now that I'm saying this in the most recent reading that I did. I was saying, because I pulled out the moon card and I said that that was our card for the 11:11. There's something that's like, I was talking about it being strangely bittersweet or melancholic, and I stand by that, but just to flesh it out a little bit more, because I've actually been moving through the energy to feel it. It feels like that weird underwhelming sensation of closing things out, and it comes in energetically as loss. Like it comes in as the end of something, and it feels sort of unsatisfying, like inconclusive. But it's because the way that something closes off and opens up is happening simultaneously. So we are both sort of subconsciously grieving these things that we're moving away from. And it's just because I'm seeing an inchworm when they're like reaching out for their next thing that they're going to hold on to. We have sort of like this emptiness in our hands because we're reaching out, and we know that there's like, we've been on this path. We would not be reaching out for something if there wasn't going to be something coming in to hold on to. But right now, our little feelers are sort of like empty. And it could be that all of the things that you're phasing out of or making less time for in favor of other usages of time that are more beneficial and more aligned and more the way that I want to describe it is like cleared out. Like all of these deep realizations that the new energies have triggered within us have allowed us to see like a diorama. Like if our lives and our energies and like who we are and how we spend our time and really just the core of our life, not as a person, but as a set of behaviors too. Like who are you? Like what do you do? If that was a shoebox and there was a kid who was making a diorama for like science class, he was using like clay and different partitions and different like slats, and there's all these different like compartments in it. It's like we're clearing out anything that we can't put our identity on, like have each little aspect of what comprises that entire thing be a good representation of the whole. So it's like there's nothing that we're hiding about ourselves. There's nothing that we do or partake in or stand for that we feel worse about than the others, because we've sort of flattened it, the experience of ourselves, not in a bad way. Flattened sounds like sort of diminishing, and I don't mean it like that. I just mean seen it for what it is and allowed it to be something that is a lot less complicated than I think we think. I think that we're a lot less complicated than we think that we are. I think that people who find themselves to be extremely complicated have a lot of things that they're still hiding from themselves and therefore other people. And so there's almost this like sadness because of this simplicity that we don't necessarily know what to do with. And it's very human and very natural and very normal to err on the side of negative emotion because it gives us something to do, and it's what the ego is always reaching for first, as far as like, how are we stacking up in what's happening right now? Is there deficiency? Is there like an issue? Is there a problem? Excuse me. I'm also finding that it's like a very very extra sensitive time to be a sensitive person. Like I feel almost like I'm just like in an allergen cesspool, but I'm not exposing myself to anything out of the ordinary. So yeah, I'm mostly just putting this out there for the whole like sadness sensation. It's a little unexpected. Ma'am, can you go? Thanks. Sorry about that. It just, there's this emptiness, and the advice that I'm personally getting as I feel it and move through it is that you want to feel this way because you're gonna be illuminated with the new. And if you didn't have this little space of emptiness where you could sort of like have that empty feeler from that inchworm reaching out, like that's the position that you want to be in, because then you are gonna eventually, you will grab onto something. Eventually you will have phased out the old more conclusively, and that's when evidence of the new in the manifested reality and in your actual lived events day in day out, it's gonna stitch up, it's gonna seam together fairly perfectly, but it still doesn't feel like that. So just don't let your ego narratives get the better of you as you're thinking about what's happening, thinking about what you're doing. It's sort of just this exercise right now in letting go, continuing to let go, and like really surrender to the way that things are taking shape. But like taking a new shape too, giving the things that are changing in your life enough space to unfurl the way that you've manifested them in. And by that I mean too, like I'm seeing somebody being presented with a flower and it's like blooming and unfurling in front of them, but like if they had this little template where only certain areas were allowed to fill up with petals, then you wouldn't be allowing it to unfold in the full breadth of like how much bloom there is, right? Okay, well, I'm at the drive-thru and I have more to say, but I'll just record a new video if I have more. Okay. Yeah, basically just to finish that message off, feeling like if you're feeling allergy symptoms or like you're excessively tired, just let yourself, like I feel like this wave of transitional energy is coinciding with what a lot of people, if they're following along with the moon cycles and what the different influxes mean or what they could mean and all of it, like I personally thought that this time right now at the 11:11 portal would feel different, that it would feel more active, or just, I mean, I could describe it a bunch of different ways, but it's almost asking us to like let go of all of the things we've been trying to let go of, but like initiate too, let go of all of it and just be as the energy has you. And what I mean by that is like, does it have you feeling exhausted? Does it have you feeling inspired? Are you in a place where you don't feel that bittersweetness, but you're like, I actually am ready to like turn a page. And the page turning could be like, today's the day I'm gonna go do something, like, I don't know, go get a membership at a rock climbing gym, because that's what you've been wanting to do for a while, and the timing hasn't been right, or you haven't been able to afford it, or whatever the reason may be. The energy right now, just remember, is dictating sensations within you, but there's nothing wrong with those sensations. And our ability to refrain from judgment around those sensations is going to be your gateway into the next thing, like refraining from judgment around how you are personally handling the energies at this time is going to help you continue to mobilize your energy. And you're just going to get stuck, or you're going to perpetuate the feelings of discomfort if you are in feelings of discomfort, if you're wondering why you're like that. So that's my message today. I definitely feel, it's just funny. It just feels like a sensitive, tired time. And it feels like the more we sort of allow it to be just as it is, the more quickly you're going to be moving through the liminal space of this time.